Alrighty, how's it going, guys? Today we're going to be doing our updated build and rune guide for Split 2 because people have been asking me for it. So I'm going to be going over the runes and items that I am personally running right now and what I've tested out and what I think is the best currently. So I have around like 20 to 25 games now. I'm currently just playing on like a account that had like around like Masters of Mamar going into the season. So we're in D3 right now on the second day of the split. But yeah, let's get right into it. Um, For runes, I am now going Transcendence Gathering Storm again in the sorcery page, because they did get rid of Ingenious Hunter, and they also kind of gutted Sun Impact. So this page is kind of dead now, Domination. So I've been running Transcendence Gathering Storm, and then also, as you can see here, I'm actually running the new Legend Haste rune instead of Alacrity. I think it's pretty good right now because there's a lot less haste in the game currently, which we'll see in our builds in a second. That I feel like this extra 15 haste on your basic abilities is actually really important, and it's super nice to have early on in the lane. Other than that, though, Conquer, Triumph, Last Stand are all still the same for me. I do know people have been asking me a lot about PTA because it did get like changed a bit this patch. It's not bad, but I just feel like it still has the same issue as it's always had, where PTA is really, really good early on, for like the first like 5, 6, 7 levels, but then afterwards it slowly starts to fall off compared to just running something like Conquer that's just more consistent throughout the game. That's why I personally think Conquer is better, because it just gives you more flat stats, right? It gives you the adaptive force, which is really good because Kled really likes just flat AD, because all his abilities scale really well with AD, and then obviously the healing is also nice. And yeah, PTA, I mean, it's good for bursting in the early trades, but eventually it's gonna slowly start to fall off when people build armor and stuff. And also, yeah, you're not getting any AD unfortunately from the rune, so it's not as good. But then again, that's just my personal preference, my opinion on it. I You obviously can still run PTA if you feel like you absolutely like need it and it feels better to you. But I just personally think this is like the best like setup you can do right now. And then for secondary, as I mentioned, Transcendence Gathering is what I'm running currently. You could obviously still like opt for something like Resolve for laning, like do something like this, Demolish Second Wind. It's not bad to do. It's just I think this, as I mentioned, with how little haste there is currently in a lot of these builds, I just think Transcendence is really, really nice, and then Gathering Storm is just nice to get the extra AD from. But yeah, that's pretty much it for runes for me right now, what I've been running. I'm still running the double adaptive with the flat health. You can do scaling if you really wanted to, but I think flat health just feels better because obviously the first two levels are like their main thing for Kled to like make sure you can take over the lane. But yeah, now let's move on to the items that I'm running currently. So at the moment, I'm currently running a lethality crit build actually, which you probably saw in my latest video. Um, Basically, they buffed crit really hard this patch, so we're kind of going crit now. I forget, or we're going back into like a crit Kled meta because of how strong these items are. And I tried to like fit in some like early game items to where, although crit items are going to be very expensive, you're still going to have a pretty good early game snowball. So what I've been doing is I've been going a cheap lethality item first. I've usually been doing opportunity, but I think you can also do something like hubris or even like voltaic in some matchups, or even Serpent's Fang. I've actually been doing a little bit of Serpent's Fang rush as well into like very specific matchups. But usually what I'm doing is I'm doing opportunities because it's a very cheap item that gives really good stats. And then afterwards, I'm going into Profane Hydra. Then I'm going Lord Dominic's, which is the new best pen item on Kled because they buffed this item super hard this patch. And now gives 40% armor pen and 45 AD, which is absolutely insane. So I'm running this item like no matter what build I go, I run this item. And then this build I go with third after these first two lethality items. Then I usually go into Collector and IE. But you can also like sometimes do this where you do IE first. But I think it usually feels better to go Collector than IE just because the build path's better. And also like stacking a little bit extra lethality does feel pretty good. So that's pretty much my 5 item core right now. And then if I ever do get to a 6th item, I'll sometimes go another lethality item, or I'll just go like an Essence Reaver to finish it off from the 100% crit chance, or even PD. But yeah, that's pretty much the crit build for now. There is a Bruiser build as well I was testing out, which is I go Ravenous into LDR. Um, Afterwards, it's more situational. You can do whatever you want. I tried this Blood Mail item one game. It seemed okay. It's not something that's super crazy good, but it's not bad. But you could do something like this. Like I think something like Rav, LDR, Sojin into if they have a lot of crit users, you go like Randuins, and then maybe go like either Maw or maybe even Eclipse. Could be something good. But for the Bruiser build, I do think going Ravenous Rush is probably the best case, or like the best item you can do. And then, yeah, going into LDR second, just because since you're going Ravenous, you're gonna have a little bit less burst, and I think it's just nice to pair it up together. And then afterwards, all these items are just more situational depending on what you need. If you feel like you just need more damage and haste, go Sojin. Or even you can do Eclipse or Sundered. Like, Eclipse is still a good item, don't get me wrong. Like, I think the item's still fine. It's just I've lost like a lot of priority on it personally, especially with this build, because I just can't really fit it in anymore. And ever since Ingenious Hunter got removed, it just feels a little bit worse for me personally. But I think the item is still fine to go, so you could even do something like this. Like, this is also fine. But like, as I mentioned, like, the only two items I think are like pretty set in stone for the Bruiser build would be like Ravenous and the LDR, and then afterwards it's just more situational depending on the game. But I think all these items can be like solid options. I haven't actually tried new Bork yet, but it does still seem like okay for a Bruiser build if they have a lot of HP, so you can maybe try Bork as like a later item, like maybe 4th, 5th in some games. But yeah, standard build would maybe be something like Ravenous, LDR. We'll say Eclipse into, and probably say Randuins, and then maybe Sojin last. Unless you need a Mar, then you just go Maw or Jaksha. But yeah, that's pretty much just a rough little rundown of everything. As I mentioned, I'm pretty much running this build right now every game. I just interchange the first item depending on what I need. Like if I'm snowballing really hard, I'll go Hubris. If they have a lot of shielding, I'll go Serpents. And yeah, if they have some mobility, I'll sometimes go Voltaic. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and you got something out of this. Definitely let me know down below if you guys have any questions about any of the items and stuff or runes. And if you have any like builds that maybe I could try testing out soon for like a video or something. But yeah, this is what I've had the most success with so far. I'll definitely probably make another video within the next like couple of weeks if there anything does change for me. Like if I find a build that's better, I'll definitely like keep you guys updated. But yeah, that's pretty much it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.